So it really is a fascinating game. And Texas, Tennessee, the biggest case that I can make against Tennessee is a Rick Barnes factor. And we're waiting for Rick Barnes to show up. That being said, the team reached the Sweet 16 last year. It's not like he's never had any wins in this month. And Tennessee's way the better of these two teams. I don't think it's necessarily all that close. Texas, offensively, is a decent squad. I think they're going to have a lot of problems matching up with Tennessee. Tennessee's athleticism, Tennessee's size at every position on the floor. The Longhorns in a half court game can really struggle on the offensive end. And this feels like that. I'm not going to call it a Virginia level performance or a Colorado State level of performance from Texas today. But I do think the Longhorns are going to struggle to get to 60 points. And that puts me straight on the Tennessee side, and it puts me towards the under in this one, even though I do think that the Vols will push pace a little bit. I just trust that team defensively. And Tennessee's one of these squads. It's like one of the things I like to do in March is find teams or look for teams that have an A-plus pedigree, that have the talent level, that have the NBA players, future NBA players in the roster, but their season's been a little bit choppy. Tennessee certainly falls into that category a lot more than Texas does. Teams like that haven't always overachieved all year tend to be pretty good point spread value. So, yeah, I'm looking at Tennessee. I'm looking at the under, and I'm looking at the Texas team total under in this one.
Yeah, Teddy, I've seen a lot of questions about live betting some of these games here today. I think we talked about it a little bit on the college basketball show yesterday here on Wager Talk TV at some of the approaches. What advice would you give to folks saying, you know what, I don't like this number, but I'm thinking, maybe if I'm watching it, there'll be an opportunity to jump in. What is the best approach for those that looking to live bet here this weekend?
Don't take bad numbers, all right? Let's say 10. I see people doing live betting all the time, all right? We like Tennessee for the game. Tennessee gets out to let's call it a 20-10 lead, all right? And now instead of laying 6.5, they're laying 9.5 or 10.5 with the Vols. That's not a recipe for success. What you want to do when you want to bet on your team in live betting is after the coach you want to bet on, the team you want to bet on, calls timeout in disgust. And the other team just went on their 8-0 run or their 12-0 run or their whatever it was. You want to bet a team when their chips are down, all right? When the market is offering value for that team, as opposed to the point in the game where that team has played well and now you're laying more than you would have before tip-off. Now, it's a different scenario if we're talking about a game that you expect to be a blowout. You expect to be a blowout, you're laying and then you're laying more and then you're laying more. But the vast majority of these games, one team goes up early, you can count on the other team coming back. That's just the nature of college basketball. We've seen it happen over and over again over the first 2 days of the tournament. We'll see it happen over and over again over the next 2 days of the tournament. So my biggest single piece of advice is get good numbers.